Hello. In MT10 LT4, the mathematical practice I want you to concentrate on is using appropriate tools strategically. That's where going to be should be in the back of your mind as you go through every problem. I want you to describe the shape of a distribution, and I want you to use the shape of distributions to select appropriate statistics. So in LT2, we concentrated on how to make a graph. Well, on this lesson, we're not concentrating on how to make the graph. We're going to look at what does it mean when you make the graph. Um, Lots of vocabulary here. We're going to do a bunch of them to start with. Your distribution, remember, you're just representing your data. That's all a distribution is. But we're going to look at our pattern of our distribution. We'll start with a histogram. If your histogram is roughly even, we call that symmetric. We're going to call that symmetric. And what that means is your mean and your median are going to be about the same. They won't be exactly the same number, but they'll be about the same. Then, if you have a tail, that's what we describe it as. If we look on the left one here, see how the tail or my histogram tails off to the left? We call that negatively distributed. Think I'm towards the negative numbers. It's left distributed. That's negatively distributed. And in that case, my mean would be less than my median because I got more numbers to the left. So my middle, I think I said that backwards. My median would be less than my mean because I got no more numbers to the left. Then we'll look at positively skewed. That's where we have a tail going to the right. So I'd have more numbers going to the right there. So we call that positively distributed. So what we're going to concentrate on today is not on how to make them. So we're going to use technology to make them. Notice on example 1, I want you to use Desmos, and then I want you to interpret. So we're going to do a histogram to start with. So I plotted this data in Desmos for you. And when you look at Desmos, you can type in the word histogram, but I like to click on the function, go down to the stats, or distributions, I should say, and visualizations, I guess what they call it, and click on histogram. Now notice it's going to ask you for two things. Number one, what did you call your histogram? Well, notice I called mine A. And then, comma, and then what do I want my bin width to be? In other words, how wide is my graph? Well, in this one, notice I'm going from about 0 to 32. So I'm going to set my bin width to 4. Okay. And you can adjust your scale, but if we look here, we can kind of see that. And that one works out nice. I can just use my mouse to zoom in. And notice it's left distributed, isn't it? Because my tail, I've got more numbers to the left. And so that's all we would say here. Your work is going to be in the technology part. So I'm going to say the shape is going to be negatively skewed. That's all you got to do.